very good evening and welcome to the midweek edition of Prime TV News. I'm Ishara now. Tuna, let's check out your headlines for the day first. The president leaves for Singapore. The Pakistani premier extends congratulations to his Sri Lankan counterpart. A parliamentary debate on fall armyworm. Notices issued on Sarath and Silva. Zimbabwe soldiers accused of systematic torture of protesters. Now for your news in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena left for Singapore today to deliver the keynote address at the third Forum of Ministers and Environment Authorities of Asia Pacific. The conference will be held on the 25th of January at the Sands Expo and Convention Centre, Marina Bay Sands, Singapore. High-profile representatives representing 40 countries, including ministers of environment, will attend this event. President Maithripala Sirisena, during his two-day official visit, is scheduled to hold bilateral discussions with the President and the Prime Minister of Singapore. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan conveyed his good wishes to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on his appointment as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. Imran Khan says that Pakistan not only deeply appreciates but also values its brotherly relations with Sri Lanka that have been nurtured over decades through continuous interactions at the bilateral, regional and international levels. He added that Pakistan supported and honors the continuation on consolidation of democratic processes in Sri Lanka. PM Khan, in a statement to PM Wickremesinghe, has said the above. He also extended his support to working closely with PM Wickremesinghe in developing mutual convergence in all of multidimensional relationship towards new progressive heights. A special parliamentary debate will be held in Parliament on fall armyworm on Friday. Addressing a media briefing held at the opposition leader's office, parliamentarian Nimal Siripala de Silva said that it is the duty of the government to pay a sufficient amount of compensation to the fall armyworm-hit farmers. He said that they requested one-day parliamentary debate on fall armyworm and accordingly the subject will be taken up on Friday. Nimal Siripala de Silva said that they do not intend any political advantages in the debate. Every quarters of the society should work hand in hand to control the menace. Nimal Siripala de Silva stated that the government should gain the upper hand in this endeavour. Meanwhile, addressing the same media conference, parliamentarian Dallas Alhaq Peruma said that an election is a right of the people and they should be armed up to entertain their franchise. He added that the Elections Commission has a great deal of responsibility to ensure right of universal franchise of the general public by holding elections in due course. Dallas Alhaq Peruma said that the SLPP will resort to legal action against delaying provincial council elections. The Supreme Court issued notices to former Chief Justice Sarath and Silva to appear before the Apex Court on the 7th of next month. Former Chief Justice was issued notices when a case on contempt of court was taken up before the Supreme Court. However, the former Chief Justice appeared before the Supreme Court today itself. The attorney at law appeared on behalf of Sarath and Silva, said that though his client has not received notices, he has decided to appear before the court today. In a petition filed before the Apex Court, the former Chief Justice has been accused on contempt of court by making a statement at a public rally that was held at the Maradana Junction on the 3rd of last month. Professor Chandragupta Tenuara and 3 others have filed the petition. The petitioners request the court to issue an interim order against the defendant, preventing issuing kind of statements that denigrate the court. Meanwhile, 3 suspects, including former Lieutenant Commander of Navy Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi, were further remanded till the 6th of next month in connection with the case of abducting 11 individuals. The Ford Magistrates Court issued the order. Though an identification parade was expected to be held today, that too was postponed by the magistrate. The court today allowed the police to detain 5 suspects, including foreigners, who were arrested with possession of a stock of heroin worth more than 1 million rupees till 29th of this month. The court gave the order following a request made by the Police Narcotic Bureau. The police was also allowed to inspect the mobile phones of the suspects. Meanwhile, the Colombo High Court today ordered to fix the case against former Minister of Sports Mahindananda Alutgamage to the 19th of March. Alutgamage is accused of misappropriating a fund of 3.9 million rupees belonging to the Sri Lanka Free Labour Congress trade union. Notices were issued to 3 witnesses to appear before the court to place their witnesses. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says a new foundation has been laid to create an economic revolution in the country. The Premier was speaking at commissioning of the second phase of the Siapat 7 housing scheme. The Siapat 7 housing scheme is aimed to provide housing facilities to low-income and underprivileged people in the Colombo city and suburbs. The project was implemented by the Urban Development Authority under the purview of the Ministry of Megapolice and Western Development. Siapat 7, a second phase, covers 266 housing units that was constructed at a cost of 1,064 million rupees. Addressing the ceremony, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that due to the recent political crisis, country's foreign reserves were slashed by $1,000 million, and it was a severe blow to island nation's economy. Premier Wickremesinghe said that his government was able to cushion up the shock, come up with a better plan to tread the correct path for expeditious economic growth. He pointed out that while working on the Mega Police program, foundation has been laid to create a new economy in Sri Lanka. He stressed that as debt burden is looming, it is compulsory to increase the volume of production in the country. Ranil Wickremesinghe added that it is compulsory to double or triple country's export. The Prime Minister emphasizes that his government is ready to encounter the challenge. He also promised to create better country for future generations as well.
The
Cabinet of Ministers have granted their approval to the paddy purchasing program of Maha season 2018-2019. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by P. Harrison, Minister of Agriculture, Rural Economic Affairs, Livestock Development, Irrigation and Fisheries and Aquatic Resources to secure funds that required by the Paddy Purchasing Board to purchase paddy during this Maha season. Meanwhile, the Cabinet approval was also granted to parliamentary approval for gazette notifications issued under the Revenue Protection Act No. 19 of 1962. The proposal presented by Mangala Samaraveera, Minister of Finance and Mass Media on Gazette Notification, number 2079/32, 2092/8 and 2097/36 that issued under Revenue Protection Act No. 19 of 1962 for parliamentary approval was endorsed by the Cabinet. Action Plan of the Open National Partnership was also granted approval by the Cabinet of Ministers. It is expected that citizen participation and transparency will be improved through the second action plan of Open National Partnership. The proposal presented by President Maithripala Sirisena in his capacity as the Minister of Defence to implement the Police Reorganisation Action Plan was also approved by the Cabinet of Ministers. Meanwhile, Cabinet approval was granted to reconstruction of 3-storey building for the Ahangama Police Station. An amount of 33.4 million rupees will be set aside for renovation work of the 3-storey building of the Ahangam Police Station. The government has taken measures to enhance financial assistance provided by the Enterprise Sri Lanka program. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by Mangala Samaraveera, Minister of Finance and Mass Media in this regard. Minister Arjuna Ranatunga says new laws will be introduced against serious road accident offences. Minister Ranatunga pointed out that fines imposed on such serious offences will be increased. The minister made these comments at a program held at the Transport and Civil Aviation Ministry to provide compensation to victims of accidents that had been committed by unknown vehicles. The event was organised by the National Council on Road Safety. Families of 4 victims who were killed in such accidents received 200,000 rupee compensation each at the event. Another 16 victims who sustained grave injuries also received 100,000 rupee compensation per each. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party has appointed new district leaders. The newly appointed district leaders received their appointment letters from President Maithripala Sirisena at President's office yesterday. Parliamentarian Nimal Siripala de Silva will be the leader of the Badula district. Parliamentarian S.B. Disanayake will be the district leader of the SLFP for Kandy, and Mahinda Amaravira, Mahinda Samarasinghe, Dasir Jayasekara, Dumina Disanayake will be the leaders for the Hambantota, Kaluthura, Kurunegala and Anuradhapura district respectively. Ranjit Siambalam-Pittiya is the Kegalle district SLFP leader. District leaders for Gampaha, Matale and Colombo will be Lasantha Aligiyawanna, Lakshman Vasantha Pereira and Tilanga Sumatipala respectively. Chief Minister of the Southern Province Shan Vijayalal de Silva has been appointed as the leader for the Galle district. Former parliamentarian Vijay Dahanayake received his appointment letter as the SLFP district leader of Matra. Shriyani Vijay Vikrama will serve as the SLFP district leader of Ampara. MLA M. Hizbullah and Gunaratnam Haridaran were appointed as the district leaders for Batiklo. Angarjan Ramanathan was appointed as the leader for the Jaffna and Kilinocha districts. Parliamentarian Kadamastan is the leader for the Mana, Mullatiu and Vaunia districts. Nureli SLFP leader will be former Provincial Councillor W.G. Ranasinghe. Former Provincial Councillor Atula Kumara Rahubadda will serve as the Ratnapura district leader. Former Provincial Councillor Aryavati Galapati is the Trincomalee district leader of the SLFP. The new appointments were made under the party reorganisation initiative. President Sirisena briefed the newly appointed district leaders following handing over of appointment letters. Minister Sajid Premadasa says measures will be taken to uplift country cinema industry based on the consultation from veterans in the sector. Minister Premadasa was speaking at the special ceremony which was held at the National Film Corporation to mark its 47th anniversary and Sri Lankan cinema's 72nd anniversary. 50 artists who have rendered a yeoman service for the domestic cinema industry were felicitated and granted financial assistance by Minister Premadasa at the ceremony. Measures were taken to provide pensions to 30 veteran artists and technical officers who were active in the cinema industry for many decades. Minister Sajid Premadasa said that the Film Corporation should be kept free from politicisation. He added that the support of veterans in the industry will be sought without any hesitation for the betterment of Sri Lankan cinema. State Minister Ranjan Ramanayake and a number of artists and intellectuals were present at the event. Today is the third day of the Drug Prevention Week. As scheduled, school children were educated on legal situation on drug prevention today. An awareness program will be carried out to brief the political authorities on illegal drugs tomorrow. On the 25th of this month, another awareness campaign will be conducted aiming journalists and media outlets. During the Drug Prevention Week, civil societies and NGOs will also be briefed. The message of the anti-drug initiative will be propagated through religious places and Dhamma schools on the 27th of this month. Meanwhile, a series of programs organised at the Anuruddha Central College in Lunuvilla was held with the participation of 800 school children and staff. They have organised poster campaign, walk and street dramas to educate the people on drug menace. The Vattegama Central College also organised a walk to mark the Drug Prevention Week. An awareness program with the participation of school children and parents was held at the school. Governor of the Uva Province, Senior Lawyer Marshal Pereira, engaged in an observation tour at several schools of the province in line with the Drug Prevention Week. The national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines recorded a significant improvement in its performance for the 9 months ended 31st December 2018 against the corresponding period in the previous year. Notable improvements were recorded in deployment of capacity, passenger and cargo revenue, market yield and unit cost. Last year was a challenging year for the airline due to the adverse impact of rising global fuel prices, rapid depreciation of local and regional currencies and political instability. During this period, Sri Lankan's net traffic revenue from core airline operations increased to $746 million with a year-on-year growth of 8%. Overall seat capacity or available seat kilometers was improved by 6.5% through effective deployment of the aircraft fleet to profitable markets by way of frequency optimization and utilizing right aircraft types. That's all we have for you today. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time. Till then, you can visit itnnews.lk for the very latest. I'm Mishara Nautuna. Have a good night.